Hey everybody, welcome.
Hello.
Oh,
My gosh, I can't get people in quick enough. We got a lot of people on the call tonight. That's great. We'll have a lot of participation. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. Is my guest on? I don't see him yet, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so we'll start off. This is Idle, and I'm Dave. We're with High and Tight. We're in the early stages of starting our dispensary. We're currently working on our business plan and hope to use it to attract talent and finances we need to get our business up and running. And we're excited to be part of the community, and we look forward to contributing our unique perspectives and experiences. We're going to do a little bit different format than what we normally do. Everybody just share your contact information in the chat. There's just too many people to do the old way that we used to do, one person at a time doing introductions. So everybody share your stuff in the chat. And also I have a link to share in the chat. That's a form. If you fill out the form, it's a contact information. After you successfully complete it, everybody who completes the form should have access to the spreadsheet at the end, so you can see everybody's contact information. Let me get that for you guys. Oh my goodness, everything's going wrong. What happened, baby? What did I do? Okay. Good thing I got my technical expert here with me to help out. Okay, here's the link to the form if you want it. So, okay, so also besides that, I wanted to let everybody know that I have an aquaponics system. It's mostly complete for sale. And I also have a 40-foot by 20-foot by 18-foot polytunnel frame for sale. If you're interested, let me know. And I've written 3 product reviews so far, 2 for Quartz Cannabis and 1 for Bud Wizards, who I just got some product to review from them yesterday. And I can share that link later when I send out the email. So that's maybe something we can participate on, all in on together, is doing reviews on each other's products. So if you have questions during the call, feel free to text them to me anonymously if you want, and I'll ask them for you. So I'll keep continuously sharing my contact information, and just text me if you have ideas. Also, if you have ideas for future guests or you want to host a meeting yourself, I'm open to that. Also, please use Rion Hines' contact list. It's really good. If I keep sending it out with every email, if you haven't seen it, it's got so much good information in there and a lot of links to various vendors and so forth that multiple people want to join the call. Let me see. Where are they? Oh, here we go. Okay. Just a second, guys, while I make sure everybody's in. Okay, I think everybody's in. Do we have, my guest has not shown up for some reason. That is unfortunate. I did have a guest who I hoped would show up. Maybe he's had technical problems. I can kind of talk a little bit about what he was supposed to say. Maybe this is him now. Somebody wants to join. Let me see who it is. Oh, it is. Ben, are you there? Right. We'll let him in. Ben, are you there? If you're talking, we can't hear you. Do I have everyone muted? Is everyone muted?
No.
No? Okay, everybody just has their microphones muted. Okay, well, I can do a little bit of an intro, Ben. As soon as you get yourself in a space where you can talk, just join in. Ben will be joining us to talk about the services that Regent Bank offers to the Missouri cannabis community. Before I turn him loose, I want to let everyone know that I am in no way profiting from guest appearances on the call. No money is exchanged hands, and if Ben generates any from the money from this call or business from this call, I don't profit in any way except to help the micro business community. And I wanted to just make sure that was clear so there's no misconceptions. Ben?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Now I can hear you, Ben. Awesome. So we have Ben here. Did you hear my intro, Ben?
I did, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Ben and let him talk. I think he's open at any time if people want to ask questions while he's talking to just go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the introduction. And again, thank you again for the opportunity to speak with you all tonight. Just like David was saying earlier, my name is Ben Schruffler. I am the client service manager for our CRB division at Regent Bank. We work with many different types of cannabis businesses, including the micro license holders of Missouri. We offer cannabis banking. For all clients across the nation. So even though we are a community bank based out of Oklahoma, and we have branches throughout the state of Oklahoma, a branch in Springfield and a branch in Frisco, Texas as well, we are able to bank our cannabis program nationwide. So wherever there is a legal cannabis program, we're able to bank there. I was just going to mention here at the top of the meeting as well that I'll be on during the whole call. So if you have any questions or anything, and I'll share my contact information with David. If anyone has any questions or follow up, I'd be more than happy to address those as well. But I had a quick meeting with David last week, and we talked about his business and what we can do as far as banking goes. And so one of the things that we can do is I know a lot of the micro license award winner, or I guess license holders in the state of Missouri are not operational quite yet. And so one of the things that we do offer are what we call pre-operational accounts. So for any clients that are not fully licensed and operational, we can open up standard business checking accounts for our clients. So that they would be able to pay for different operational expenses as they're getting their business off the ground. That's something that we do not charge a monthly service fee for as far as cannabis fees goes. And it helps if you are interested in cannabis banking that we can just roll those accounts into a cannabis account right after that once you guys are fully licensed and operational. For our social equity program, and that includes all micro license holders in the state of Missouri, we do offer a discounted monthly rate as well. So typically we charge $500 for an account, but we discount that by $250 each month for anyone who has a social equity license, including, like I said, the micro licenses in the state of Missouri. Outside of that, even if you don't bank with us, we have a whole dedicated team of CRB banking professionals that are here to answer your questions. So we can connect you with different products or services you may need to get your businesses off the ground and going. And we understand that banking is a very important solution for any business. So we try to make it as easy as possible to complete that process. There's nothing that we want to do. It's a high pressure situation. So we'll never just bombard you with emails or phone calls if that's not what you're looking for. We're totally just here to work on your timetable to help you with compliant, safe banking solutions. We've been banking the cannabis industry since 2019 when Oklahoma and Missouri passed their state questions legalizing the use of medicinal cannabis products. And so we've been in the cannabis space for almost 5 years now. And I think that's about it. I know, David, we spoke a lot more, and I know there's a lot more resources to being offered, but I definitely don't want to
Austin
monopolize
Farms
the
has a
time.
question.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the question? I can't see it on my end.
He's got his hand raised, but I can't see if there's a question attached. I can't see it.
Yeah,
Unmute.
it
There you
was
go.
me. Sorry.
Okay.
So I have emails from Regent. The lady told me that when we reached out, she said that the monthly fee for micro was $500 a month and that it was going to start on day one. We had to start paying that. So what changed?
No, I don't know where that information came from. I'm so sorry that you received that. It may just be a training opportunity. If it was one of our employers outside of the CRB team who possibly gave you that information. But if you are not fully licensed and operational, that has been our program stance from the very beginning, that we can open up simple business checking accounts for our clients in that stage, and that no monthly cannabis fees would be incurred. Now, the social equity discount is a fairly new program. We began it at the beginning of this year of 2024, and so that might have been where a little bit of the drawback was. But when I was at MoCan in Springfield, I know I met with, in fact, we were actually been offering that discount for a while because I met with some micro license holders at the Q4 event last year in Springfield, and I was talking to clients
Absolutely.
about yeah,
Chris,
pre-operational
I have
accounts.
been a Regent customer for a while. They are not charging me anything at all. They know it's a cannabis account. I'm sorry you were misinformed by whatever source you got.
Did you Monster Farms? Did you have an email or something from that person?
Yeah, I'll if he posts his email, I'll forward over the information that we received.
Great. We need to get that cleared up.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I apologize for any confusion, and I'll take it as a learning opportunity, or a teaching opportunity, I guess, for our internal support staff that may not be as familiar with cannabis banking accounts, and getting that corrected. So I apologize for that.
One thing I
If
wanted
you'd
to
like,
mention.
I'll speak to
Oh, go ahead.
my experience with your bank, if you'd like. With
Yeah,
Regent,
absolutely.
with my marijuana for my license personally. I walk in, I know the manager by name. It's a relationship in the city. It's that simple. So I have a branch right here in Springfield. It's easy. Thank you.
I also have a bank account with Regent, and it was super easy to get set up. I have had zero issues with them. Their website or their app is fantastic. I don't have any problems with them with the charging. I currently hold the free account, and once we start having cannabis money, we will make that switch over. But yeah, that's the bank I recommend everybody as well.
Okay. Well, my opinion was that I contacted every bank on Rianne Hines' contact list, and they actually called me back. So I felt like they might actually want my business. They also had a fun thing, which was you could show up there with a backpack full of cash, and they'll they'll just check you right in. Not all banks will do that.
Yeah,
Craig Flanagan, did you have a question?
Yes, I guess I'm just another caveat with saying that I banked with Regent. I was with them before I got my ATO and the transport. Now transit, it was a smooth transition into the licensed portion of it. The rates were competitive, but I also did want to add to a question. If we have multiple licenses and multiple accounts, is there a discount for that at all, or is it just the applicable fee, monthly fee for that? I know transport's minimal; it's only $100 a month for that.
yeah, Craig, that's correct. So for any tier 2 or indirect account, including transportation companies, that fee is just $100. And it really just depends on how the businesses are structured. If they are structured under one EIN and one business entity, we can look into the possibility of banking those accounts under one bank account, with a caveat being we have to maintain retail accounts and wholesale accounts separately. So that is something that we're able to discuss with you, but it's really going to be dependent on how your businesses are structured. And I'd be more than happy to talk to you about that at a different call, just so we can dive into it a little bit more.
Okay. Moving on. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Marley, did you have something you wanted to ask right quick?
Yes. Did you say there was a branch in Springfield, and was there another location in Missouri? What are all the locations?
Yep, Springfield is the only current branch that we have in the state of Missouri, but we do partner with different cash and transit and different cash depositors that we can work with cannabis businesses. So if you do live a little bit further out, we can put you in contact with those entities. And so those contracts and service fees are separate than that. But if it's a transportation company that can take your money directly to the branch, I do think there are cost savings with that versus larger maybe company that might be vaulting the cash on your behalf. So be more than happy to have an email or a call with you as well to discuss those opportunities.
Okay, we got time for one more quick question. Eric, are you there?
I am. For those who use Regency and I suppose for Ben, do you have sufficient, are your apps and are everything included, outfitted such that, you could pretty much operate remotely other than the cash deposit caveat?
Yeah, we have a lot of out-of-state clients that, and when I say out-of-state, I mean outside the states of Oklahoma, Missouri, that utilize our mobile deposit services. And something that does set us apart is if you have a check and that you've increased or you've gone over your mobile deposit limit for the day or the month or the week, we are able to temporarily increase those because at the end of the day, we truly understand that you guys have successful businesses to run, and we're not here to get in the way. We're here to really just provide exceptional customer service and allow you to have a little bit of ease of banking. And then if you would like a demo of our different products or services or our online banking features, we have a whole dedicated treasury services team that'd be able to walk you through that process as well. And like I said, and David, I'll share my information with you and you can pass it along to the group tomorrow when I get back in the office. We're just here to help you guys. If you have any questions, more than happy to answer those at any given time. And if there's anything that we can help you with, we truly just appreciate the opportunity to earn your business and we'd love the support from your this group and any of the other active license holders throughout the state of Missouri.
All right. Thank you for that, Ben. I am going to limit that to our conversation with Ben so that we have time to move on to other stuff because we have some exciting other stuff to cover. Ben, if possible, if you could, I know I think you're on a mobile device. If you could possibly see the chat and put your name and like an email address that you would like to be contacted at for people that want to contact you. And I will also gladly send out your contact information in the email that I send out tomorrow or the next day, whenever I get around to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and look in that chat now. And I just want to thank everyone again for your time and thank you for the positive words who are current customers. And if there's anything you guys ever need, just let me know.
Okay, all right. So let's see here. Now we're going to get into the question and answer session with the Missouri Microbusiness Association. Samantha Blum should be here. And I just wanted to say before we get started in these questions that my wife and I had a really nice meeting with Samantha at the Bud Wizards Bud Barn yesterday. That was fun. And we got a little sample. That was nice. I wrote up a review for you guys, and we'll share that with the team, with everybody later. I gave these questions to Samantha yesterday, and I gave her 3 options. I said, we could talk about this on the call tomorrow. I could give you a week to think about it and answer it, or we could just not do it at all. And we could just skip it. And to her credit, she was ready to jump in and start getting on these questions right away. But I kind of think that that's kind of her personality. She likes to jump in and get things done. So I think that, let's see, our first questions here.
Yeah, I have the list here. I can just run through them and answer them as I have them.
Can you just do I'll ask you some of them. Can you just do like the highlighted ones? Because those are ones that you already have gone over before.
Okay, yeah. So we have the voting process, which is how will the community vote. We do that online. You will be given a secured code that you put on your voting ballot to because it is one vote per license, like voting sheets. So you get to vote on one dispensary and one cultivation. And that would, it depends on the voting, if it's like a whole board, obviously, but you get one for each license. So if you have multiple partners, they don't get to vote as well. It's just one per license. So that goes through online. There is no voting restrictions as far as like where you live or your age or anything like that. It is just one license gets to vote. So whoever you designate as your primary contact with us will be who gets that email, and you will vote that way. Okay. And then it's let's see.
Oops.
And yeah, that the next question is who is eligible to vote. So one license, one vote per license. So
Also, so how will people learn about the vote? You said that they'll be contacted via email, but do you have everyone's email?
everybody that attended the event and through the contact lists and these meetings and through the state and stuff, we have pretty much everyone's so that's basically what we run off of. We do
Right.
outreach phone calls and stuff as well to gather that information, but
And of course, I'm happy to share what I have with you guys.
absolutely appreciate that.
So,
And then so we will do a nominating process. So the way that works, I'm going to kind of jump around to that so that way you understand how you'll be notified. So everybody will receive a "it's time to nominate" email. It will be included with a like Google sheet thing that you fill out, a survey thing where you nominate your dispensary nominees and your cultivation nominees. You can nominate yourself. And then when we get that information, we will leave it open for a certain amount of time. Last time, I believe we did it for 2 weeks. It might have been a week for everybody to get their nominees in. And then we will collect that data. We will contact those nominees via email and let them know that they have been nominated. What we will require from that point is basically like a PowerPoint PDF form where you'll get a moment to create like a snapshot. You can make it colorful. You can put whatever you want on it. It's completely up to you how you make it your own. Recommendations will be things like why you want to be on the micro association board, what you bring to the table, what your passions are, et cetera, et cetera. Basically just a snapshot of who you are in that PDF. And then we will also ask for your resume. So that way people can see your experience and what you have from previously done and whatnot. Then those things will be compiled in a dispensary file and a cultivation file that will then be emailed to everybody, and we will give everybody an amount of time to be able to review all that information. And once that time is up, we will then send out a final email, which will be the voting. And that is when you will get your code, which will be in a separate email, and you'll put the code into the voting form. And that form, once we have all of that compiled, we'll give everybody like a week or so to do that. Once that is compiled, we will then let the people who were nominated know if they were voted in or not. And then we will then announce and welcome everybody via email and the Facebook group.
okay, let's see. I think we covered just about everything. Do you know when this process is going to start?
Okay, so that process will start. I think we're going to start that next month because we are just waiting for the minimum standards. Our next board meeting or between the 9 of us is the first, is coming up next week. It's the first. So we will make sure that is, we'll set a date and we'll send out the emails after that. It does say board eligibility requirements. So there is no experience or skills required. The only thing that is required is that you are a license holder, and that is it. It's important to be on this board that you understand what everybody is going through, so that way we can all, navigate the same things. For new board seats, it will be one cultivation and one dispensary from round 2, and then there will be one cultivation and one dispensary from round 3.
Right.
which-
Yeah. Right. Right. We covered that. Let's move on. We got a lot of stuff to cover here. If you could briefly as possible, answer the following questions. I'm going to move on to the relationship with the MoCan Trade Organization. So the first question is, what's the nature of this partnership? What is the specific nature of the partnership between the Microbusiness Association and the MoCan Trade Organization? How does this partnership benefit both organizations and the microbusiness community?
Okay, so there really is no quote unquote partnership. We exist, they exist. We are utilizing their locations to be able to hold our board meetings. So that way, because the majority of us are already in MoCan, and it just makes sense as an equity license situation that we're not asking people every month and a half to travel all over the state. Everybody is generally going to be in those locations anyways. So it makes it more efficient and less out of everybody's pocket. As far as partnership, we are not MoCan. We are not associated with MoCan. The reason we have MoCan members on the board as advisors, they do not vote. They are advisors to us. It's because we want to focus on helping the micro industry move forward and not to get caught up in making phone calls to get money and lobby and this and that. We really want to focus on what we need and make a unified voice to move us forward. So we wanted to have MoCan advisors because they help us, take what we're doing and take it to the MoCan board, so that way we do have somebody with money to make those moves. But we have no issue with working with other, associations and, out there. Like, it's not just a MoCan thing. We just are utilizing a platform that already exists.
Okay, so I think you answered a little bit of the next question, the shared goals. Are there any shared goals or objectives between the association and MoCan that might be seen as conflicting with the interests of the microbusiness?
As far as what MoCan chooses to do, that's up to MoCan. All we can do is David, all the people that are on, like David, Scott, Brad, Katie, they hear what we're going through, what we're saying. They're a part of that voice, and then they can take it to the board in all of that. I did see Monster Farms asked, is there a membership fee for MoCan? Yeah. Yes. For us, no. We do not want to make this into a money-making situation. We want to just focus on moving the industry forward. We've got enough stuff to spend money on. This is not one of them.
How would you address, I don't know that it's probably come up or that it ever would, but how would you address any conflicts of interest that might come up?
Can I say something real quick, Samantha?
Of course. Yeah, go ahead, David. Yeah, jump in.
And it's kind of in line with your follow-up question there, David, but just also kind of following up to Samantha's answer on the last question. So there, I operated on the comprehensive side for 3 years. I've been working in the Missouri space really from day one, post licensure, and working heavily on the micro business side ever since I sold my interest in those dispensaries early of 2023. I really switched gears solely to the micro business side. So I've been thinking about these things and involved in lots of conversations over the last year and a half about exactly what we're talking about right now. And there is only one conflict between the comprehensives and the micro businesses. And in my view, and there's certainly different views out there, but in my view, that conflict isn't going to come until we have interstate commerce, because of language in the Constitution There's, I think, and I'll just put it out there. I think the conflict is, folks wanting to switch our licenses to comprehensive licenses and the plant count limitation. And that's just kind of the natural conflict between the smaller licenses and the bigger licenses. And because of language in the Constitution, it's kind of like, it's just the lay of the land. There was $10 million spent to get that amendment across the finish line, and to somehow change that language, or get the department to ignore some of that language to switch us all to comprehensives, which I personally think would not be in our best interest. And I say that from someone who I think would, as a dispensary guy, I would probably benefit the most from that kind of a change. So yeah, I think the only conflict is if and when interstate commerce happens, and whether or not our licenses get switched to comprehensive licenses at that point in time, because that argument can be made. But I've rambled on enough, so that's my 2 cents.
Let's briefly go over the next question. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on the next one. Are there any financial arrangements or agreements between MoCan and the association that might favor MoCan over micro businesses?
No. So
okay, good. That's covered. No, go ahead, Samantha.
No, they don't give us any money. We if we were to ever have a large sum of money donated to us, we are going to put it in, and David can answer that question better than myself, but that would go into MoCan's banking, but we are not going to do anything where that's really what we lead to. We have events. We're asking for money in that specific moment. We don't want to have to pay money for a bank account. We don't want to have to file taxes and
sure. Okay. We get it.
Yeah.
Keegan has a question. Keegan, can you jump in?
Sorry, as a CPA, I would argue the otherwise. I think we need to have an EIN, and we need to be able to deduct the expenses. I can help you with that. Under $200,000 worth of income means you do not have to file a tax return.
Okay, well then I will get with you, Keegan, and pick your brain then.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. I think we answered the next question ad nauseum at the beginning. Board membership and qualifications. Did you want to, is there anything that we need to touch on there? What are the specific qualifications or criteria? I think we kind of covered that, didn't we?
Yep, you just have to have a license to go with Monster Farms. Why join MoCan versus the other? I think you should join them all. Every single one out there, NCIA, I Am Jane, M4MM, MCBA, they all bring different perspectives. They all bring networking opportunities. They all bring, experience, knowledge. I definitely believe that there is value in every single one that you can join out there. So that's my personal opinion. Some of them have free memberships. Some of them have very low number memberships. So it just, I think there isn't a versus in this situation. I think they all, whether you align with every single thing they represent, I think that they all bring some level of value to you.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. Board member affiliations. Are there any board members who have direct affiliations with MoCan or other cannabis related businesses?
Okay. So everybody has to have a license. So they are directly, connected. As far as MoCan, if you are on MoCan, you cannot be a voting member on the board of the micro association, because we don't want, they're there, we're here, we want to work together. There's no reason to have two spots in both avenues. You know what I'm saying? So that is if you want to run for MoCan, don't run for this because you can't do both.
Right. I'm glad you answered that. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
We just to add real quick, sorry, David, just to add a quick addition to that. We did that to, or when we set this all up, we laid that out so to increase participation because there's only, there's 48 of our licenses ultimately, or 144. And, there's 4 MoCan seats and there's going to be 9 micro-business seats. So that's about 10% of the licenses. So we didn't want to limit that anymore.
Awesome. Okay. Let's see. What's next? Oh, board member oversight. Let's see here. How does the Missouri Microbusiness Association ensure that its board members are acting in the best interest of micro businesses?
I think that will come later in the bylaws. We are newly established. We haven't established a lot. We have very rough idea, and that is also something that will be that way until we have a full board from round 3, because right now the only people who sit on the board are round 1, and that's not the only voice in this community. Round 2, you guys are coming online probably here pretty quick, and round 3 as well. So we don't want to set all the bylaws until we have all of the voices on the board. So we are just kind of roughly setting bylaws in place to be able to move forward and move accurately through this. So that is definitely something that we will discuss and figure out how we're going to navigate that.
Nice. Okay. Eager for you to answer the next question. What are the primary interests and affiliations of board members who do not hold micro business licenses? That's such a scandal. How could you allow that?
I don't. So nobody can have, you can't be on the board. So, even if you are somebody who works in the industry or have interest in the industry, if you don't have a micro license, you just don't. And we aren't, we talk to everybody. We're network. You want to know everybody and meet as many people as you can. So there's no exclusion. We, aren't not interested. We have the, company list and so on and so forth. But as far as our direct interests are for moving this industry forward and working with people in this industry who hold licenses, because it is an extremely unique experience, and it's important that we keep it true to what we represent.
I think this next question has been answered too for people that read their emails from you guys. Do board members possess any relevant experience in the cannabis industry or field that benefit micro businesses?
I can only speak to my experience. I mean, I know everybody else's experience as well, but I have experience. I know everybody else has experience to one degree or another, whether it's legacy market, before hush hush times, or, in the actual legal market. And honestly, I think that it's kind of irrelevant also to a degree, because there are so many things that you can experience in life and go through and do that make you experienced in this unique experience in itself. So.
Interesting. Okay. How does the Missouri Microbusiness Association address any potential conflicts of interest for board members who are not microbusiness license holders?
Well, that's not possible because you have
That's
to have
right.
If they lose their license, sorry, to be direct.
Okay.
Oh,
so
by the
that
way,
is
Keegan, go ahead. Keegan wanted to ask a question.
Yep.
Yes.
My question was very simple. I pretty much alluded to it. I'm sorry. I kind of half spoke over. Sorry. You want to go ahead?
Oh, no. So basically, if somebody loses their license, that is a bridge we are going to cross very soon, as in the board discussing that. I think that needs to be established in our bylaws going forward, especially as we add more people on. So I don't have an answer to that other than my personal opinion, and I won't add that to the conversation until the board makes a decision. So
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad it's being considered.
Okay. Diversity of representation. This is, I don't know exactly how you would answer this, but how do you guys ensure that your board members are diverse and representative of the microbusiness community?
I think that that's important based on who you nominate. I think that that's very important. We're a social equity program, and I want it to be a representation of, what this whole industry is about. And I don't think that setting any kind of specific limitations on it, if that's what you want to see on the board, that's what you vote for and who you nominate for. And I think that personally, our board represents a nice spread of everybody.
Do any of your current board members have military experience? Are they veterans?
I don't believe so at the moment. I do know that, for instance, like Scott, he works with veterans in what he does and stuff. So he's definitely looking out for the best interest of veterans as well. So we all come from a wide variety of perspectives and who we interact with and what we represent, what we stand for. So,
Well, there'll be an awesome opportunity to get a veteran on the board during this next round of voting.
absolutely, yes.
All right. So let's talk about board member qualifications. I love this next question. Given that John Payne is not a micro business license holder, could you please elaborate on his qualifications and expertise that make him a valuable member of the Missouri Micro Business Association board?
I'll chime in on that because I'm not a member of the board. So that's easy.
Awesome. Well
yeah,
done.
I was gonna say that's
Well,
an
that's
easy
resolved.
one. I could pass that off to John Payne. Yeah, he's not on the board. He does bring valuable information to every conversation. So,
Sure.
we don't limit who we ask for information and, what they bring to the table, but he is not on the board. So that is easy peasy.
And that's in the spirit of these meetings that I'm having on Monday too, is I want everybody that's has a license or a contact or works on that business to feel welcome to come here and share information and network together. Yeah. Okay. I think the next question on my list has probably already been answered. Why are there MOCAN trade organization members on the Missouri Micros on the board? And what contributions that we bring? I think we covered that. I think we covered the next one also. Member concerns. How does the Missouri Micro Business Association address concerns from micro businesses members who feel that MOCAN's presence on the board may not be in their best interests?
Well, there are no micro business or there's no MOCAN advisor like who are on that board on our board that vote. They are just
Right.
advisors. They advise us on what's happening through the MOCAN and as well as what's happening in the industry as a whole and how we can move through it. They bring value to our conversations as far as if you don't align with or don't particularly care for MOCAN, that's a personal thing, I guess. And I know that we can't agree with what everybody does all the time or what every company does all the time. There are going to be things that you don't agree with and you do agree with, and they do move this industry forward and they do have a lot of our best interests at heart. Things like less testing or less restrictions on packaging. Yes, that directly affects the commercial industry, but that also trickles down to us as well. So if they have to do less, we have to do less. That directly improves our bottom dollar. It improves our general ability to run our business. So if you don't necessarily align with MOCAN, that's fine. Don't go to their events. Don't join. That's totally a personal, viable option as a person. As an industry, we all need each other, and I feel that's why I recommend joining all of the different associations and organizations out there, because we need them all. We need all of the opportunities to network and make these connections. So cutting one off because some of it doesn't align isn't, in
You
my
know what? Samantha, I think in spirit, even the people that have voiced this concern to me privately understand the spirit of what you just said, because those same people, some of those same people were at the MOCAN meeting. So,
yeah,
I wanted to, okay, go ahead. Did somebody have something? Go ahead.
I just say I respect anybody's choice. If you don't want to join, you don't have to. We want to work with everybody that we can because we want to make this move forward.
I want to join, but I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe so that I can afford to join, because this business stuff is nickel and diming me to death.
Can I add something real quick, David?
Of course.
Just follow on to what Samantha was just saying. So it's not really that MOCAN trade board people are on the micro. We actually, when we set this up, we approached MOCAN and asked for representation on their boards so that we would have a voice within MOCAN. And that's what we got from them. We got a seat on each one of their committee seats, so that as micro business folks and a bridge between our two organizations, and having a seat at the table with these larger operators, that we had a voice at that table. So that was really the spirit in which the having the advisory board members on the Micro Business Association.
Nice. I wanted to have a hard stop right about now, and then go into my idea for bringing some product to market. But I don't know, we're almost done. I think if we can keep it quick, we can power through these last ones, and we can do both. Besides, I spent the extra $6 a month or whatever it is, and got the premium Google Meet, so our meetings can go longer than an hour if we want to. The last section here is the board formation and member selection. Who were all of the original organizing or founding members that started the association? Are they also the initial board members?
So no, it was Nicole Van Diver created a meet and greet right after we got our license. We were all sitting down, we were all talking. Nicole, David, and I were discussing how there needed to be something to represent us, and from that birthed a organizing committee, which consisted of David Brodsky, Scott Wotton, myself, Nicole Van Diver, and Brad. I'm forgetting somebody. I think that might be everybody. Yes. So we basically created organizing committee, set up some very, very vague concepts, bylaws, how many seats, et cetera, the voting process and whatnot. So once the board was voted and put into place, shortly after the MOCAN members were put into place, we completed the board, and that is how that all started. And that is, so out of that, most of everybody went MOCAN out of those seats, which was selected by MOCAN. There is no vote. They do interview processes and stuff to put those people in position. We had no say in that whatsoever. So that is, where the cookies fell for that one. As far as us, everybody voted, and then the person with the most votes is the person who goes to the at-large. So that way we have an odd number of voters. That person is the one who kind of runs everything. That happened to be me. And then the dispensaries were voted into place, and the cultivation were voted into place. So that way we have equal representation of both on the board at all times.
Okay, I think that pretty much answered most of the rest of the questions. Is there access to the numbers of the voting results?
Oh, we can give the numbers of the voting results, but we will not make it not anonymous. I think that that holds the integrity of the voting. So
Sure. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I wouldn't expect anything less. Yeah. If you want to provide that to me, I can include it in the email I send out if you like.
let me double check with the board to make sure that is something we are all comfortable with. I don't want to
Okay.
speak for us as a whole, but yes, I
Sure.
will get with you on that.
I'm probably not going to send that out for a couple of days. I'm feeling lazy right now. I got class tomorrow and, meh. So criteria used to select the initial board members. We just kind of covered that.
Wait,
Was
you
there
only have class once in a while?
yeah, I'm trying to only class it up when I'm on these calls. The rest of the time, it's game on.
Boom.
Was there any opportunity for public input or feedback during the formation of the board?
Yes. So whenever we
Okay.
did the we did the required state meet and greet thing in Jeff City. We did a meeting after that to each of us had our own section. We kind of talked about it. We introduced ourselves and what we were trying to accomplish. We took down names, phone numbers, contact information, and we asked everybody to kind of tell us what they were looking for. We put out a survey where everybody kind of said what they were looking for from the association, whether they wanted it to be big or large or this or that. Everybody gave their input on that. And then we started shortly after that, we started the nomination process. So yes, it was something that we very actively reached out for and asked for input. So that way we didn't, it's not about us having a voice, it's about the community having a voice. And that's very important.
That's good for us to know, especially us round two people, because we were not part of that. You know what I mean? We didn't see that happen. So thank you for clearing that up. How were new board members selected? Okay, we covered that. And there is a regular process for renewing. Oh, is there a regular process for renewing board terms and assuring that the board remains representative of the micro business community?
So there will be a full vote for the entire board in 2026. I don't remember the dates on that at the moment. And that also is very contingent on when round 3 happens, when they're voted in, because we want to at least give round 3 the opportunity to sit on the board for a year. So once that is in place, we will know exactly when we will position the full board revote. As far as terms, there's no terms. This is a very time consuming endeavor, and if anybody wants to step up and take part in it, it is we don't want to keep anybody from sitting here and doing all this funness as long as they possibly want to. So
Awesome. Okay. That covered all my questions. So yay. Congratulations. You made it through all the gauntlet of questions. Does anybody have anything? Speak now or forever hold your pieces. Going once. Zach, you look like you're busting at the seams with questions over there. What did you want to ask? Nothing? Okay.
Oh, I unmuted just to say no. I'm good. I'm just listening and taking it in, taking
Okay.
notes. And
All right, brother.
yeah, no, I got you.
Thank you for
I got you.
participating a little bit. Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's right. My contribution.
And by the way, Zach Becker's round 2 dispensary, and he's privately told me that he wants to be on the board. So vote for Zach. Go Zach. Okay, so let's see. Next, we got 6 minutes left, and that may be all the time we need to discuss my idea. So my idea here, I'm just going to throw it out there to the community, and I wanted to kind of say beforehand that if I wanted to, I could keep this idea private, right? And try to get to market myself and kind of, make myself a little dollar and kind of corner the market. But I think in the spirit of sharing with the micro business community, the idea of having clones in some kind of a meaningful way in our dispensaries could be another way that we set ourselves apart and add value as compared to what the comprehensive guys are doing. Now, I talked to some people. I called Scott Wotton, and I hope I pronounced his name right for the first time. And I talked to John Payne about this. And John Payne was very helpful since he helped write some of the language that covers clones and what can be done with clones and how they can be used. And what I think about clones that's a great opportunity is they don't require a lot of space. They don't require a lot of maintenance, and you can pump out a bunch of clones quickly. You know, that's another revenue stream possibly for growers. But in order to pull that off, we're going to need to have a space for that in our dispensary facilities, right? So we'll have to plan for that. That's kind of why I'm talking about it now. And I would love to hear anybody's thoughts on that right now. Go.
This is actually something I kind of brought to the meeting. I probably mentioned this to a few people that are in this call, but and this, I guess I was thinking about it from the cultivation side, but basically there's almost no limit on how many clones you have in your facility. But there is obviously, it becomes a hassle once they reach 8 inches tall, I believe, and then you have to start cataloging things. So I think it would behoove, especially the cultivators early on who are getting started up and don't want to have a lot of capital investment at any given step. It's one of the one things we have control over as kind of a group is clone stock. And I basically, I think it just starts with kind of being transparent with each other in terms of what we actually have in the bank, in terms of, you know, I could say, I've got this plant, I'm going to take about 100 clones off this plant this week. And it's about the same amount of labor as it would take to do about 20 clones. Basically, we can produce 5 times more than we need on the same labor cost. And when people are flipping over rooms, it might, you know, there could be some kind of collective bargaining, so to speak, or at least foresight into what is available. And within a day, you could get serious numbers of clones, get 80 clones from somebody who, because they're essentially going to go to waste because they have to be destroyed if they're not going to be used.
But, Monster Farms, do you have a question? And then I think I want to ask John Payne to jump in on this if he's still on the call.
Yeah, I do. So there's a dispensary. It's like a locally owned one down by Catsville that kind of does that clones. You know, you can buy clones in the store. It's never consistent. It's like a come and go type of thing. Sometimes they got them, sometimes they don't. But what they also do is they have a class to teach people that want to home grow, you know, how to take care of the plant and whatnot. So you might want to consider that because we've done
Interacting with the
events.
customers on an intimate level like that is really going to be a key way to get return customers. I think that's a great idea.
We've done several events where we've taken clones. Our last one, I mean, people want them. I mean, we sold out like 3 hours. We took 200 or something. So there's a market there for it. But, you know, I'm curious to know out of all those ones that we sold, how many are, you know, how many survived?
Yeah, right. You know, what I think would be fun in the dispensary side, Samantha, we'll get to you in just a second, was if I have like some top shelf cannabis over here, right? And you like this Zowie Wowie strain over here. Oh, would you like to try and grow it? We have some clones right over here. I think that'd be really fun for the customers.
Just the opposite. You know, my top shelf stuff that you know, is marketed towards us or for us. Some people, well, some grows, we are actually paying for some of these genetics. You know, and some of them can cost a lot. You can get genetics, you know, kind of tailored towards your brand, and you're looking at like $5, $6, $7, $10,000. So
well,
I'm
I could
obviously
still have
not
a
gonna.
top shelf Blue Dream or Gorilla Glue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Yeah, I get what you're saying, but you know, the some of there's it just depends on each,
I
you
get what
know,
you're saying
grower's,
too.
yeah, this
Hear you.
style, so to speak. But yeah, it'd be good to have some clones in there, and then the dispensary do a class, and even invite one of the wholesalers, you know, over to host a class. You know, this is what we do to keep it alive. This is what we do to get the best profile out of it. Stuff along that lines.
Sure. Yep. I agree. Samantha, what was your input?
So it's kind of a drive, but there is also in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's called Endless. I'll put it in the chat. They do crop steering classes as well as tours after their crop steering classes. It's every other Wednesday, and the class is free. The tour is free, and then they also do tissue cultures as well as clones that they sell, and they will ship to you in Missouri and stuff. They sell them in trays. Yeah, that's their main focus, is doing that, so they can, you know, do that as well. So we went and checked that out. I highly recommend it. The wealth of knowledge that they share is pretty extensive.
Oh, nice. Okay, so John Payne, I would like for you to chime in, and we could talk a little bit about what we talked about on the phone the other day. I thought it was interesting about. Could you tell us what the wordage is in the
Yeah.
regulations?
Yeah, and I don't have it right in front of me. And I also should note that I do have a 8 o'clock meeting that I'm supposed to be starting here in
Oh
just
my
well,
goodness.
I guess now. But I'll go through this real quick. So, you know, the department's main concern, because of the amendment has always allowed clone. It says that, you know, facilities can sell clones, but they were always concerned that having clones in a dispensary after a time constitutes cultivation. So, you know, what I kind of worked with Amy on was language that just said, I believe it has to be picked up, it has to be pre-ordered by the patient or consumer, and then it is sent from the cultivator to the dispensary. And I believe it's 3 days, although I could be wrong on that, that from the time that it arrives at the dispensary, it then has to be picked up. And so that was the kind of way that they felt like that piece of time does not at that point constitute cultivation of the plant. But if you're keeping it for longer than that, then that becomes then you're engaged in the act of cultivation as a dispensary, and so it's not compliant.
So you'd probably just have to destroy the plants or send them back.
That is accurate. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Dennis looked
And
like he had something he wanted to say.
I'm gonna have to hop
Yeah,
though.
there
But
wouldn't be any
I
sense.
appreciate it. Take care, brother.
There wouldn't be any sending the plant back. Once you take it in your dispensary, it's your inventory. So you would be destroying it. And John was right. There was the only way that you were able to do it was to pre-order them, and you had 3 days to pick it up once it was ordered into the dispensary. So
Okay. Another thing that John and I spoke about was that the only dispensary that he knew of, comprehensive wise, that was doing that was Proper. They had a facility, one or two facilities that either were doing it or are doing it. And he's going to have the CEO from Proper on his call tomorrow. And he will take all questions. So that would be an opportunity for any of us that want to pursue this clone question more from
Is it
somebody
Brian?
who's actually doing it.
Who's talking?
I don't know, Keegan. I didn't get the name. Just John
Sorry.
told me that it was the CEO of Proper.
We were planning on having a online presence with clones for sale as a revenue stream already. Outside of putting it in a dispensary, because we figured most people who go to a dispensary are only going to try to grow once they figure out how much it takes to really put into growing. But there is maybe other outlooks to get into hydroponic stores.
There's also opportunities, sometimes a crop fails and somebody needs 100 clones right away. You know what I mean? That happens. So there's always those opportunities too. Did somebody have something? Okay, well, does everybody think that this idea has some merit? Do we want to pursue this more? Give a thumbs up or something if you think that we want to talk about this more. If not, I'll drop it. If we want to pursue this a little bit more, let's see what's going to happen. I think we should at least try and be on the call tomorrow. Those of us that have an invitation to John Payne's call to talk to the proper gentleman, so to speak. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any last minute stuff? If not, I'm going to call it.
I just want to say I appreciate everybody and their questions. I don't want there to be any confusion or anything like that. So I'm very grateful that, David, you brought these questions to our attention, and that way we have things to move forward in our meetings and stuff to really be able to lay down our bylaws and stuff. Really our main goal is just driving this community forward and keeping us together, giving us a voice. So I really appreciate the opportunity this evening to be able to express that to everybody and alleviate any confusion, because we're really excited about helping everybody.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you jumped on. Dennis, do you have something, brother?
Yeah, to reiterate, Samantha, and your questions earlier, from one who's been in the industry for quite a while and was in it from the inception here with one of the first dispensaries, I can tell you that MOCAN and the micro license community board are very key factors to all of us for networking and for learning a lot, especially for all of you that are new to this industry, that haven't been around it, like the few of us that have been through this. There's a lot. It's a complicated industry. Trust me.
Before I get to the other questions in the room, I just wanted to say that in the past, I have put these recordings on YouTube as an unpublished link. I'm going to start making the links public now, since we're not all doing an individual introduction and announcing our contact information. It looks like pretty much only me is publishing their contact information out there. So, and I like it when weirdos contact me, so that's all right.
And it's backwards.
Oh, is it backwards?
Yeah, it's backwards. It said DIVAD instead.
Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me. On my screen, it looks right. I let you guys let me go the whole meeting with food on my face and nobody said anything. Thanks a lot, jerks.
Only this guy. Only this guy.
Total respect, David. Total respect. I figured you were just trying to hear something.
Wow. Thanks so much, everybody. I see who's got my back now. It's nobody. Okay. Keegan, you want to ask your question?
Wait, you just called me nobody. Why would I ask a question? Samantha, I'd like to take a minute to say thank you for taking over what you're doing. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So we had one more. Eric, you have some input?
Yep. Echo that last. Amanda, it's a big job. Or Samantha, rather. Appreciate you. Also, let us know whenever you guys officially get incorporated. I think that's a big step, and that'll be exciting for me.
Okay, great, everybody. Expect an email from me about this in the next couple of days, and there'll be a link to the video and everything, so people will have a chance to review if they like. Thanks so much for everybody for participating. It's been a great meeting. Thanks so much. A million
Watch
thanks.
me build my pot farm. Whoa. Watch me build my pot farm.
The association email will be out by the end of the week as well. I've been holding off because I've got some things in the works that I want to share all at the same time. So keep an eye out for it.
Nice. Okay, great. Oh, yeah. As Samantha does have some super secret stuff she wants to talk about. Look forward to that at the end of the week, everybody. Okay. All right. That's it. Everybody have fun. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.